Alright, on today's Vassmotorsports, got the old 2400 SCR out. It's a Maxum cabin cruiser. It's been sitting, unfortunately. So anyway, today we are going to just concentrate on making a pattern for the flooring, because see, it does have the snaps, and you can put the snap in flooring. So anyway, let's get this done so I can put some new flooring in. Don't pay attention to the seats. I'm going to wind up redoing everything. I don't know. Some people know I do interiors. So anyway, the new people will find out. Here we go. So then I just cut a rough cut around it, the outside of the plastic, to get the form where I want. Laid it down. Got a couple things laying on it to keep the corners, spread out as good as I can. Now I'm going to go around and make my marks where I want to, trim it to make my real pattern. And I can go around and actually put where the snaps are on the floor, so they'll match. Even when it'll be for someone else's boat, it'll still match. So here we go. Next, I went ahead and laid the next section in and got it marked to where I want it. And I always do match up marks. It moved a little bit. I got up. But you always do match marks. That way, when you go to, if it has a pattern on it, like the teak flooring and stuff you've seen I've done. But I always like my lines to match. I want every single section that's in the boat to match. So now we're going to move on to the driver's section. This is your first time on this boat, ain't it? Psst, psst. Ah. You like this boat though, don't you? You like it? Psst. Do you? You like it? Psst, psst. You don't know what to think, do you? Except you like it. You ain't even been on this one yet. You like it, don't you, boy? Exploring. Okay, got all my patterns laid out. Even made the one for down here in the basin area for stepping in. Now just time to go take them in the shop and put all the lines and cut them out and get them ready for the material. So now I'm just lining up my marks, all my patterns. I've got all my outsides already marked the way I wanted them. Now I just got to join, connect the dots. That's one done. Just going to connect the dots. Make sure the pattern is laid out nice and flat. And pretty much just take and cut them out now. Get the patterns ready for the material. And I got the biggest piece up there done already. This is the little basin one. Just cut it right on the outer edge there. Keep your turns nice. Keep all the lines nice. Make sure those straight runs are looking nice and straight. Even these turns, take your time and get it right. Make a big difference in your finished product. So don't get in a hurry, don't get ahead of yourself there. Even though it's a smaller piece, it don't mean you can just fly through it. It needs to be nice. I like my work looking nice. Nice. So now I got the patterns laid out on top of the material that I'm going to use, and now I'm going to just lay like a couple heavy things, a few different places on it so it won't move around while I'm tracing it. take a Sharpie and just trace around the edges there. And then you need a decent pair of scissors to be cutting this kind of material, you know, the flooring like that. So I'll wait until I go over to the actual shop. This is the mechanical shop, so I usually don't do interior stuff here because just too messy, nasty, greasy, whatever. So we'll get this all traced out, and I'll be able to take these pieces over to the other shop there at my dad's garage and get them all cut out and sew the binding on. And then of course we can even put the snaps in the correct spots because we're using the 2400 SCR as the pattern.
Ready? Jasper. I like it when he flies across the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Right to the rug.
So I was out here installing some binding today, just putting it on, and I use a binder, put it on the edging. But when you get to these inside turns, you have to move the binder. It's a fold away. It moves over here, you pull out some excess, and I'm gonna have to do this little part by hand, and then I can slide the binder back over into place where it goes. It'll do the outside corners, but it doesn't do inside corners. They make a special attachment for that. So that's the inside turn I just did. Now I slid the binder back over, put a magnet here to hold it from coming open, and I can go ahead and finish around the rest. And then over here I'll just overlap. Alright, so I'm going to clip off the strings here, run it around the turn here and overlap probably a half, 3/4 or so, and take the hot knife and cut this binding so it doesn't fray or anything, and it'll just be a nice finish. So pretty much take the hot knife and just run it right down that. Being careful not to burn anything else. Just the end of the binder there, and so now it will cover perfectly, you know, 3/4 inch or so. Do a little reversing to lock it in. And so that's what it looks like when it's finished up, covered over. And the corners are all come out pretty nice, the threading. You're always going to get a little bunching on it, especially when you use like the Sombrella type material like this, acrylic. But that's the inside turn by hand. Just try to keep the thread nice, and you know, which you really need a good machine, a good walking fit machine just to hold the ticket, key to the whole thing. Binding on, and it looks a lot better when it's finished than compared to the straight edging. But anyway, we're about to do a turn here. And of course I was a little short. I'll have to overlap the binding. Got to go slow around these corners to make it look nice. You don't have to get in a hurry. But you want it to look nice when it's done. I want people to say, oh damn, who did that? That's Steve's work. I want some of that. Will you work on my boat, Steve? Maybe. Alright, so now I'm putting in some snaps. Those are finished. This is just a top cap. There's no bottom yet. I have to take my tool here and snap on one of the bottoms. Let's see if I get this set up somehow where you can see it possibly. So pretty much just take a cap, snap it onto the die there. It'll hold itself in place. This is cupped on the top. Make sure you have the top of the button sitting in there nice to snap, and then just give it a... I've already got these set for the right tension more or less. And that's the finished snap. What I did is I went ahead and installed some of these snaps so they'll hold the mat in place for me, because You know, in the sunlight on a really hot 90-degree day or something, these are going to try to expand a little, so I'm pulling them as snug as possible. And it's not like it's cold today. It's probably lower 80s, but it's not the same as being in the sun all day and letting it expand. So anyway, I've stretched everything out, put these snaps in. Now the floor has a little contour here where your feet go under the steering wheel area. So I'm gonna push it down real good and give it a stretch and come up here. I can feel the snap under it right there. So I'll have it stretched nice, and then what I do is just take the little wood burning tool, and that makes the perfect size, sticking it right in, and it burns the hole perfectly. I wouldn't recommend sitting that on your seats, but obviously my seats are crap and I'm going to redo them. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make them next 2 holes and go ahead and get them snaps in, and then this piece will be finished. So I got my finished product here, or almost finished. I do have to still cut the little hole for the table leg over here. I like making this little extension back here. Normally it would have just went straight across, like you can see the floor pan there, the hatch. I always add this because I like, as soon as I step on, when you shut the door, it's right there at it. And it doesn't affect the hatch when you lift the hatch up. And I also add a little cut there. I like putting that extension piece on. You do have to put a snap over there on the boat in the corner on the floor. I did not do that yet. I still have to put 2 snaps back here on the floor because it doesn't come with them factory. But again, I like adding that piece to it. I have to put my snaps in the basin area here on the floor because it doesn't have them factory, and I just wanted to make the little mat. You don't have to have it there. And that's the piece going under the driver's feet and passenger feet. But these snap right out. You can pretty much get them dirty and just rinse them right off, more or less, or wipe them off with something wet. But anyway, if you like what you see here today, how about click and subscribe and like or whatever, and we're going to be doing a lot more of this kind of stuff in the future. So stick around and check out Steve's Stitches on Vassmotorsports.